boogie. Come on, somebody.
Duck Rooter is hiring plumbers, CDL drivers, septic system installers, and helpers. We offer excellent pay and a full benefits package. Apply at duckrooter.com or call for details. 904-862-6769.
Equal opportunity employer.
One of college football's most storied programs.
Get the latest from the Tallahassee Tribe on the Seminole Report.
Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team. Stay close to the Seminoles on 1010XL.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
Hey, it's Joe C. My friends at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living can elevate your grilling experience with a durable, high-end grill from great brands like Coyote, DCS, Alfresco, and American Made, and make an outdoor kitchen custom-built to your taste and lifestyle. Visit their local showroom and see all the new displays at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
You dream it, we build it. CSS.
This is David Lane. After suffering through several painful injuries to my shoulder, back, and knees, I've taken my issues to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and without fail, they've been a tremendous help towards solving my problems. If you have any orthopedic situations, don't procrastinate. Take action today. Give those aches and pains to the pros at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. You'll be glad you did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, with this one, I'll go from Connor to Connor, okay? Connor O'Gara just was on with us from Saturday Down South, and I'll just read this headline. Connor Stallions is out of the stable. That's the headline, and he is now moving into the high school ranks because Connor Stallions, unemployed after everything that went on with what appeared to be a cheating scandal that involved Michigan and its coaches, and the NCAA are still trying to chase that one down. But notorious as he might be, he is now going to be part of the Mumford High School football team. And he has been hired. The quote from the head coach, William McMichael, was that he might be the most hated man in college football, but he coaches, and kids at Mumford High School love him. So There you go. And he might be fitted with that same disguise. We'll look at Mumford High School's football schedule and see who they're playing in a month, and we might see if Connor's somewhere in the stands on the other side of the field, I don't know, getting video.
Well, it's easier to steal signals on the high school level than it is on the college level. So
that is beautiful.
You got to watch out.
That's beautiful. All right, so good college conversation with Connor, and honestly, you start looking around, and the questions we asked to Connor and that he threw his 2 cents on, we're not going to know. We're not going to know whether Kalen DeBoer is going to come in and basically seamlessly take over for Nick Saban at a program that is back at its heights and expects to win national championships on a year-to-year basis. We don't know whether Kalen DeBoer could do that. I like the hire. The guy has gone out and really picked right up where Saban left off in terms of attracting five-star recruits. I think he's a good offensive mind. We're going to find out how it all looks. Again, this whole week-to-week SEC thing, because Kalen DeBoer is, I believe, a very talented coach. Then you start looking at the other ones. I'm looking at this one ranking for Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a preseason top 5 or 6 team. It's their highest ranking that they've had since 1970, Coach. So Ole Miss is doing stuff under Lane Kiffin that they haven't done in a long, long time. And we're talking about, heck, was Archie running around at that point? He probably was, 1970. I'd have to go back and look. He may be earlier than that. But still, that's where Ole Miss is at. And then, like I mentioned, Brian Kelly is trying to come in. He's gone from his year one, making it to Atlanta, year two, putting the guy up on a stage in New York, accepting the Heisman Trophy.
I really like Lane Kiffin, and I will say this: per capita, Mississippi football players on the high school level are as good as anybody in the country.
Yeah, they still have enough of them, right? That's why you're saying
it's per capita.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to go to other places, and that's the problem with the SEC is there's a lot of states surrounding.
Yeah.
So it's hard to go into another state. But the one thing about Lane Kiffin is, he is a protege of Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So I really think that they have a chance to be a pretty good football team.
Yeah, there's a lot of good possibilities in the SEC and beyond. Of course, it's not just the SEC that's going to make up the college football playoff, but they're going to make up a bigger chunk of it than maybe you might expect. Big Ten schools definitely are going to have the same opportunity. They got 18 of them. Heck, I'm looking around. I'm looking at the Hard Rock Bet odds for all these schools to win their conference titles, and Oregon's drawing a decent number.
Right.
Ole Miss is drawing a decent number. There are a handful of them that are pretty good, pretty attractive numbers when you're starting to look ahead and see what you might do. But there's no question the college football playoff just provides a lot of intrigue as to who can get into that final field of 12. Now, they still may get blown out. It still may come down to 3 or 4 of the best teams in America, the ones you're used to seeing. But at the same time, there's still going to be a lot of good storylines as we go through it. All right, so let's get back to some Jaguar football talk, including the roster. And the other thing I wanted to bring up beyond the roster was what the 33rd team brought up, which is past NFL players or past coaches, past GMs. They put it all together. And they form a pretty good website. And I don't always look to them and say, hey, this is the gospel or anything like that. But I looked at the headline, and the headline was very simple: the best wide receiver rooms in the NFL. And you start thinking about it, and you immediately say, okay, I can probably pick out the ones that are at the top. And they're pretty darn obvious. But this is the receiving core rankings from the 33rd team. And I was a little surprised. I would have put San Francisco or Miami at the top. Would you have any problem with that?
No.
Because of what they've got. Now, this is, of course, with Brandon Ayuk still in a 49ers uniform.
Right.
And they went and drafted Ricky Pearsall in the first round. They got Deebo Samuel. We know what they've got. And Miami, we know what they've got as well. They handed 2 big contracts out to Tyreek Hill and to Jalen Waddle in the offseason. Guess who they have number 1? The darlings of the offseason, the Houston flipping Texans. And so they've got, with the addition of Stephon Diggs, it is hard to argue that Stephon Diggs has had 1,000-yard season after 1,000-yard season after 1,000-yard season. He may not be able to get along with his quarterback. He may have basically forced his own departure up in Buffalo because of the way, just how he was. But he can catch the football.
Oh, yeah.
And so you've got Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Noah Brown, John Mechie III as the best wide receiving core.
I don't have a problem with that. I think they are good.
It's hard to argue with it.
Right.
And we just mentioned San Francisco. We don't know whether Ayuk is going to be there or not.
Right.
It's a decent receiving core for sure. And then you go to the Miami Dolphins, and you have Tyreek, Jalen Waddle. Then you got Odell Beckham. We don't know how healthy he is, but he is also on that roster. Malik Washington down there as well. Next group, I'm just going to try and rattle through these really fast, but the next group is the Seattle Seahawks. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith and Jigba, really, really good players. So I'm probably not going to argue with that one either.
Right. You
know who's at the bottom end of that receiver room? Laviska Shenault. So we'll find out whether or not he can do anything in a Seahawks uniform. The Chicago Bears are next, Coach. You got DJ Moore. Keenan Allen comes in. Rome Odunze drafted. And then you got a couple of other guys in Scott and Jones. Good. But am I going to say, like, Keenan Allen's aging?
Yeah, that's what I would say. I would say that's a little bit out there, in my opinion.
The Bengals. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Jermaine Burton, pretty good.
That's a good group.
Okay, so they're right there. You could easily argue up or down with them.
Yep.
Eagles, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. Then they have Paris Campbell who comes over out of a Colts uniform. Ainias Smith, when healthy, in an A&M uniform, really dynamic.
Yeah, he is.
And then Johnny Wilson is also up there, a big, tall target that they can try and get the football to. So it's hard to argue with some of these. You might move them up or down your list. The Minnesota Vikings are next. Jordan Addison, we'll find out what the health is and the off-the-field concerns. But anyway, you got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Brandon Powell, good player. And then after that, you got Sherfield. I consider that a pretty good room too. Now we're starting to get to where you think Jacksonville could be in the conversation. Next is the Rams, Puka, Cooper. Yep. I'm not even going to go any further than that.
Right.
They're really damn good.
Yeah.
Next one, Green Bay Packers. Pretty good. Christian Watson, Romeo, I like to call him Dubes. Jaden Reed really came on at the end. Dontavius Wicks. I might even have that group a little bit further up because what Dobbs, Wicks, and Reed did without a healthy Christian Watson last year, Coach, really impressive.
Yes, no question. And I love Christian Watson. You know that.
Oh yeah. Next, though, this is where I started to get a little ticked off. Next, 11th, and this is the best receiving corps according to the 33rd team, the Tennessee Titans. 11th with DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, who admitted that he didn't have his head or heart in it the other day at practice. Hopkins, Ridley, Boyd, Burks.
I'll tell you what, I take our group over that.
I think so, too. The next one, the Cleveland Browns. Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore, Seth Tillman. It's good, but I might take this one over that one.
Yep.
I would move the Detroit Lions up. Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams, Khalif Raymond, and we've seen the other guys make plays for them, but maybe not enough. And maybe that's why they're a little bit further down. You know, like the Donovan Peoples-Jones, that just didn't make as many plays.
Right.
Next are the Chiefs, 14th. We don't know exactly what's going to happen with Reishi. We know that Marquise got hurt the other night. We know that X is a high draft pick. Justin Watson's been around. He's okay. Sky Moore's okay. Next are the Bucs. Evans, Godwin. After that, Jalen McMillan can be good for sure. We'll find out. After that, you got the Jets. You got Aaron Rodgers yelling at his receivers already.
Yeah.
You got Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams coming off injury, Malachi Corley, X Gibson. It's, again, okay. Then the Commanders. I might as well just quit naming them. I'm just going to go down. Commanders.
Where's the Jags?
Raiders, Cowboys, Colts, New Orleans. Then they get to Jacksonville.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
All right, so we'll keep that thought going as far as, is that the 22nd best receiving corps in the National Football League? Ask all of Duval that question. You can let us know, 641-1010. You can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Cycles of Jacksonville Friday, XL Primetime, Joe C., Dave Campo, hanging out here on a beautiful Friday afternoon.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Imagine driving a late model Corvette, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Honda, Chevy, Ford, and more, all at a fraction of the original sticker price. Visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom and browse a great selection of dream cars that are inspected with warranties. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Are you tired of having a plain and boring backyard? Really want to impress your family and friends this year? Then stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway. Imagine hosting guests at your new outdoor kitchen, relaxing by your custom-built fireplace under a brand new pergola. Stone Core can also remodel your old pool deck and beautiful new pavers. Make your backyard wishes a reality. Visit Stone Core on Phillips Highway and let's get started at stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gate store anywhere around Duval and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
This is Josh Woolsey with Woolsey Morecambe. Woolsey Morecambe is your MVP in the legal game. Our team of skilled attorneys tackle personal injury cases with compassion and expertise. With fumbles like a car or truck accident, we're here to seek the compensation you deserve. Right here in Jacksonville, we've successfully won over $100 million and earned a championship-worthy record. When it's game time, you want a team that plays to win. Contact Woolsey Morecambe at 1-800-WOOLSEY. Offices, Jacksonville.
Calling all fans of Duval to downtown Las Vegas during the game against the Silver and Black. This is Lauren Brooks from Helmets and Heels. Join us at Circa Resort and Casino this December for the Jacksonville Game Day Getaway featuring an incredible all-in package. Get a 3-night stay at Circa, $200 food and beverage credit, plus a day bed at Stadium Swim. With 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive screen, it's the world's largest hot tub party. The all-in package is only available until August 30th, so act now. To book and to join the Heels in Vegas, visit circalasvegas.com today.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 16, 2008, legendary American swimmer Michael Phelps wins his 7th of 8 gold medals at the Beijing Olympics on the 100-meter butterfly.
Hey gang, Hicken here for Zero Res. Man, it is hot outside this time of the year. Many of us are staying inside or going to the pool. Well, my friends at Zero Res are also heating things up. As you know, Zero Res does a great job of cleaning carpets and rugs. But they also clean luxury vinyl planking, tile and grout, fine stone and hardwood floors. And right now, the hottest price of the year, 25% off all hardwood cleaning. That's 25% off tile, LVP, fine stone, and hardwood floors. Zero Res, man, spell it forward. Zero Res, spell it back. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, an asphalt marketer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Sheldon Fish. Today's category, air conditioner repair experts in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I bet it's going to be Bueller.
Your question. Unlike Jacksonville, the Sahara Desert has a complete lack of air conditioner repair experts. What kind of camels do they ride?
That's not really a question about air conditioner repair.
5 seconds.
But that's a camel question.
Pick a camel, Sheldon.
Arabian dromedary.
That's right, Sheldon. Like the majestic Arabian dromedary, the skilled technicians at Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair any make and model of air conditioner the same day you call, making sure you are cool.
They don't spit, do they?
No, but Steve, the new guy, has a bit of a hump.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Craving a cold one? Well, zip into one of the great Gate locations you see all over town and pick up a cold Bud Light, or a Natty, or an Ultra. Maybe a 12-pack of the King of Beers, or some cold Coronas. It's all happening at your local Gate convenience store. Slide on in today.
If you're about to order a floral arrangement for someone you love, then take it from me, 1010XL's JJ LaSalva. Use Kuhn Flowers. That's right, Kuhn Flowers. For over 75 years, Kuhn Flowers gets it done right.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
Hi, I'm Frank Frangie, and I've depended on South State for my banking needs as long as they've been serving Duval. Whether you're saving for retirement, purchasing a home, starting a business, your goals are their commitment. With forward-thinking, personalized banking solutions and best-in-class service, South State is ready to help you navigate your financial journey. Connect at southstatebank.com or drop by any of the 5 local South State offices. South State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars players and coaches have been raving about second-round pick defensive end Mason Smith. With a guy such as Josh Hines-Allen speaking highly of his name, Smith should have a bright future in Duval.
I love him. He has that it factor in him. You know, he clean up little pieces here and there, but he's a dog. Like, he's a legit one of those ones. And once he puts it together, he has all the wiggle in the world, but he also has the power to pull somebody back. And he's smart. He can play. He can run. He's physical. He has all the tools to be someone I love to rush with.
JTA Game Day Express is back. Save gas and avoid parking hassles as the Jaguars take on the Buccaneers this Saturday. Let them do the driving. With multiple locations around town and passes starting at just $10 on the MyJTA app. To learn more, visit jtafla.com. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jax cool since '87.
My takeaway, guys, is that I'm excited to be able to see a bunch of young players here for the next 2 preseason games and get a feel for the back of that roster.
Yeah, it looks deeper and deeper. There's no question about it. My takeaway is that when it's all said and done, Saturday night, extremely valuable for guys that have a chance to make this football team that you may not know about, but they need to be on the squad to have better depth, to be able to survive injury, to be able to step up and make plays when necessary. And that second half of the roster, you can call it the bottom third. I like to call it the butt end of the roster. It is important, people. There's no question about it. That's for sure. All right, we're heading towards the 4 o'clock hour. We got the Francis Show coming up. Joe C., Dave Campo, as he's been hanging out with us with Big Searcy and Matt off today. So let's go back to this wide receiver discussion and the fact that the 33rd team made this team the 22nd in the NFL when it came to the receiving core. And I just wanted to read to our XL Primetime fans out there and to you, Coach, what they said. You got wide receiver room, 22nd, Christian Kirk, Brian Thomas Jr., Gabe Davis, Devin Duvernay, Parker Washington. They said it's exciting to give Trevor Lawrence a downfield target like Brian Thomas Jr., given the team's issue connecting on deep attempts last year. If Thomas can be more than that in year one, the Jaguars receiving core will be less predictable than what's expected. Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis are fine, but unremarkable veterans. Unremarkable veterans. I got a kick out of that.
Yeah, I get a kick out of that one, too, because, we said it off the air. I don't worry about what the other teams have. Yeah. I worry about who we have. And the biggest thing, because, you see the guys on the other teams once or twice a year. You see your guys every day. Yeah. The reason that we're down there is because of what they said. The names on those guys may not be up there.
Right.
But we don't have a number one that everybody knows. Brian Thomas has a chance to be that guy. And to be honest with you, they're not including Evan Ingram. And I would include Evan Ingram as a receiver, and that would up that ranking.
Mm-hmm. And I understand, and I'll give the texter credit for this one, because this is certainly what a lot of you are probably feeling. Is it an accurate ranking? Of course not. Does it show the disrespect Jax receives nationally? Of course. All we have to do is win, and that room ranks higher. But they have to do it for 17 weeks and for more than one season. They haven't shown that they can do that yet. And I can't agree more.
Absolutely.
And Doug Peterson probably would agree with you as well. You've got to go out and prove it. You've got to remain hungry, remain productive, remain a team. You've got to get everything going in the right direction, and that means important games down the stretch. You are the superior team, and that's why people are probably taking a little bit of a dim view of whatever. Look, if they did the receiver room rankings, offensive line rankings.
They could sue all the rankings in the whole thing, we'd be down in there.
Yeah, and so you've got to prove them wrong, and that's where this football team, Leon always talks about it, culture. It's basically coming together, charging each teammate to do a little bit more every single day. Coaches getting together saying, it's our job to develop these guys and put them in a better position to make plays. I think you said it after the first preseason game and maybe even after these joint practices. This team does collectively look like they're a little bit better together.
Absolutely. I think that's the key. This is a team game. It's not an individual game. And obviously, when you have a guy like Brian Thomas that has a chance to take the top off the whole field, that's an advantage. And he may be that number one that everybody's talking about.
Yeah. All right, you got the Austin Trammell ready. I want to make sure they hear it because it's just one. Okay, let me know when you do, because we're talking about another guy that is trying to make sure that he makes the squad. And any of these guys right now are probably a little nervous, may not admit it, but Christian Braswell has moved up in the minds of the coaches. We just mentioned Eric Hallett a little bit earlier as far as where he's moved up. We mentioned this receiver room. I definitely think that a healthy Parker Washington looks like he is ready to make more plays. Devin Duvernay, I love. And we mentioned Elijah Cooks as we started the show. There are guys that have a chance to make this team overall better.
Right.
And we can go to any of the other rooms.
Yep.
That interior part of that defensive line. We haven't been able to see everybody, but we definitely know that a healthy Eric Armstead and those other guys, they got a chance.
Absolutely. And I think that's how you have to look at this football team. You have to look at it as a team. And listen, when I see a ranking like that, it's, there's a little chip on my shoulder too. Let's go out and show what we can do, and it's got to be proven on the field.
All right, so I just wanted you to hear this one because here's a guy that's trying to make this squad, and you may see him number 86 tomorrow night. Austin Trammell, number 86 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to make a confession to you right away. You ready for this?
Yeah, what's up?
I'm calling you training camp Trammell. Are you okay with that? Are you all right with that? Because I like to pick guys that come in that flash in training camp that have a chance to make the roster. Well, and I think you got a chance.
Thank you. I appreciate that. No, I came in mini camp and, just had to kind of learn everything really fast. And you just got to come in and show what you can do every day and take advantage of the opportunities. And I feel like I've done that, so.
You've come into the league. You play for a couple of other teams. You come here, like you said, you have the benefit of the offseason. What has this offense been like? Before we get to the special teams, how do you feel about the wide receiver room in this offense?
Yeah, it's great. Trevor's a great quarterback. You got Mac and CJ coming in as well, doing really well in practice preseason games. And, I love the receiver room. It's awesome. Chad's has been amazing. Learned a lot from him already. And we have a really good group of guys. I feel like I fit in really, really quickly and gotten really close to a lot of guys that doesn't usually happen as fast as it has.
We're talking with Austin Trammell. You played at Rice. You were drafted undrafted, but signed with Atlanta. And then when you go back and you think of your college career and then trying to make an NFL roster, what type of things do you work on to make sure that you are good enough to catch the eyes of the coaches?
Yeah, coming out of college, it's really all about your game film. That's your resume. That's whatever you put on tape is who you are. So that's the most important thing. And then other than that is being the best shape as you possibly can be, fast, strong, whatever it is, and just working on your craft, like trying to be the best you possibly can at your craft, running routes, catching the ball, everything like that. So it's really just your sole focus is on your craft, and that's all you can do.
So training camp nights, what do you go through? Because, if we're being honest, the back end of a roster is tough to make. It really is. And this is a deeper football team, I think, that we've seen in a while. But what kind of goes through your mind, and what kind of things, that you're thinking about that you got to do?
Yeah, you just control what you can control, and that's taking advantage of opportunities. That's giving effort and learning the playbook and being where you're supposed to be, and the cards will fall. It's all part of God's plan, It's He's in control at the end of the day, and all I can do is give my best, and whatever happens, and it's all up to Him, really.
All right, so there you go. Austin Trammell's got a good frame of mind.
Yep.
And he was with LA last year. He caught a few balls, not a lot, but he was their main return guy down the stretch. You want a reliable guy that's not going to cough up the football. Now, Devin Duvernay is going to be the number one guy when it comes to returning punts. But Trammell is another guy you probably will see on that practice squad, right?
Yes, absolutely. I would have him on the practice squad. First of all, he has a skill set of being able to play in the slot with the quickness and ability to change direction, and he does give you the return ability. So It's a long season. You don't know who's going to. We saw it last year. You don't know who's going to start the season and finish the season.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the football. There's going to be some guys banged up, and you just hope that your key guys don't get banged
That's
up.
the same feeling from the texter. Last year we crowned them in the offseason, and they didn't earn it. This is more motivation for our guys to make everybody else eat crow, and leaves us with a Duval. But that's it. You got to get hungry again.
Yes. And I'm looking forward to this team doing that. I think they have a good mindset. The thing I liked about the preseason game was how well they chased the football and did some things, that way. The second unit running the football, that was a plus. So we just got to see what happens here.
Yeah, I'm curious. Mac's going to get the majority of the snaps, and then CJ will come in, I would think, second half. And then I'm curious with these receivers, which of these guys is going to make the most plays or be given the most opportunities tomorrow night? Which of them? We mentioned Tim Jones. If Elijah Cooks is a guy that is going to do a little more in the special teams game, Tim Jones got to be feeling a little bit of heat. So, let's ask a guy who keeps an eye on him on a daily basis.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
The American Shredded comes in after a set of curls because he's got the gun show going.
He came in here moving, too. He's excited.
He's doing hurdles and everything else.
I'm fired up.
All right, so honestly, we may have asked this question.
Yeah, get that camera on me. The people want to see me.
Corleone.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I'm a big star here.
We asked for the close-up. We went into makeup, and we asked for the close-up.
Right, yeah.
But now that you're in, Tim Jones has been like that constant, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Keith Richards, cockroaches.
Mr. Gunner.
Yeah, after a nuclear war, they'll survive, and Tim Jones will make a Jaguars roster. But he's got to feel a little pressure, because you have guys that are in the receiving room that also can be valuable on special teams.
Without a doubt. I mean, I think they've done a really good job building the receiver room up, and that was a great interview. I really enjoyed it. And I think when you look at the depth there, there's going to be some good players that aren't going to make the 53. Now, I think when you look at that 6th spot, it's got to be a special teams guy. I know fans don't like that. They like to think of, that 6th guy maybe one day can be a really impactful receiver for us. That's just not how the league is constructed. That 6th guy is going to be a core special teams guy. And if it isn't, it really puts a lot of pressure on other positions to cover that special teams factor. So as impressive as some of these young guys have looked, the 6th spot is going to go to the best special teams receiver, and that is still Tim Jones.
Yeah.
By my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, yes.
That's what I want to hear.
As I see it.
Yeah, because you'll put the roster out there on 1010XL.com, and you certainly have a good feel for it. And so Coach and I are saying, I'm seeing Elijah Cooks more on special teams, but that still doesn't take away the fact that Tim Jones is on all 4 of them.
That's the thing, and you just hate losing games that way. I mean, you just again, the 6th receiver isn't going to really help you win offensively, unless you have just a crazy rash of injuries in a singular game. But, you're not going to ask that 6th guy to, help you much on offense. And so it really needs to be somebody that can protect you on special teams, because there's nothing more deflating than you outplay an opponent for 60 minutes, but because you gave up a punt block, or because you had a return go against you, you lose a 4-point game and you lost a touchdown on special teams. So I think, particularly the way they operate and the way they've constructed things, I think they prioritize special teams with that 53, maybe even more so than some other clubs. So, I think I don't know who it'll be, but whoever that 6th receiver is, it will be, in their opinion, the best special teams component there.
All right, what's coming up?
We're going to break it all down. I mean, we got a ball game coming up tomorrow night. We're excited. I've been looking up biggest blowouts in preseason history because I think the Jaguars are getting ready to hand Tampa Bay a number.
Telling me to lay the points.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm telling you to lay the points. I really like the depth of this roster. But again, that should play out. It was 2 really productive days for the Jaguars against the Bucs. So we'll get into all that. We'll also talk a lot of Gators and Knowles as we get closer. Pete Prisco will join us to talk all things NFL, so it should be a fun Frangie show.
All right, love it. Hayes Carline,
Thank
Frank
you guys.
Frangie. They will be coming up. JJ, manning the ship. They're all ahead at the top of the hour. Coach, we are done. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yeah, hey, fun. Thank you.
We always have a good time. That's for sure. You can check out Campo and Joe podcast. It's a little different than what we just did, but you can definitely go to our social channels and find that. Thanks to Cycles of Jacksonville. Don't forget, they're on Atlantic near Regency, on-road, off-road, and on the water now as well. Check out Cycles of Jacksonville. We are done. RJ, take it away as we get ready for the franchise show.
Duval.
Come on, Joe.